Hello and welcome. You're watching the Social Network. Now we have a very special reason why we're doing the Social Network today. I'm going to quickly direct your gaze to this Awaz petition, which is an online petition which has got about more than 17,000 signatures. And following this petition, the Awaz, which is a social media online campaign against that Kamduni rape case, and of course in general against violence against women and the increasing graph of that in West Bengal, they decided that they wanted to put up an ad in West Bengal to try and tell Mamata Banerjee that it was time to in fact, well, that ad is now up on your screen. It says, Mamata Banerjee, stop attacking protesters, start attacking the problem, stop rape in West Bengal. Is there a problem with it? I don't clearly see one, but clearly that ad, the state government sees a problem in it because that ad has not been allowed on the billboards. In fact, several publications in West Bengal have also refused to carry that particular ad in their papers, and that's what we discuss on the Social Network today. Dissent, disallowed, ad criticizing Mamata government not allowed on billboards. Now, joining us on our show today, we've got with us Karuna Nandi, who is in the studio with us. She's a lawyer. We've also got Manak Matiani. He's a social media campaigner, and he runs this website called mustbold.in. We've also got Alafia Zoyab, who is the global campaigner for Awaz, who's actually first alerted us to this particular story. And joining us from Kolkata, we've got with us Ratnaboli Ray, who is a women's activist. I want to cut across to Alafia first. Alafia, that ad doesn't seem to have any real problems with it. What obstacles did you face in a government that is fast now being very unpopularly and infamous for quelling dissenting voices?
Yeah, the first thing, thanks for having me on the show, Kashish. The first thing I want to emphasize is that we did 3 legal reviews of this ad, and all 3 legal reviews cleared it.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and it meets the guidelines of the Kolkata municipality on outdoor advertising. The interesting thing is none of the outdoor advertisers would cite official guidelines while declining this ad. And what we've seen happen in West Bengal is that there's a real climate of fear that the Mamata government has generated. It's had a chilling impact on civil society, wherein this form of democratic, non-violent protest is simply not allowed. So that's our main problem. The overarching goal of the campaign, however, is to engage constructively with the government and to get the West Bengal government to roll out a mass public education campaign, a campaign that will really tackle the mindset, the misogyny in which this rape epidemic thrives. So that's the overarching goal of the campaign.
All right, Alafia, in fact, it's really interesting you say that, because one of the biggest criticisms against the Mamata government has been not just the fact that they often try to play down many of the incidents of crime that happen in the state, but if anybody actually tries to protest against that, more often than not, they're vilified and made to sound, the victims are in fact vilified. And Ratnaboli will tell us a little bit more about that. Ratnaboli, you were part of that protest against the state government for not taking enough action following that Kamduni rape. What happened?
Well, just to set the context, Kashish, I think we need to cite quick examples. And it was not just us who were demonstrating peacefully on the street, who were shoved and dragged and pulled into the police van and put behind the bar. But we have also had instances where we've seen Tania Bharadwaj, we have seen the case of Sheila Ditto, we have heard what happened to Professor Ambikesh Mahapatra, and very recently we have had Joyita, a young girl, a protester in the Kamduni incident, was picked up and now put behind bars. So what it tells us, what it informs us, is basically that if you are protesting, if you are a voice of dissent, then you will be either labeled as a Maoist, or you will not be heard, or you will be asked to shut up, or it will be said that it's a cooked up story.
In fact, Ratnaboli wasn't,
and this is a very, very convenient way to silence the protesters.
In fact, what's really interesting is that a lot of what Alafia is also talking about is the fact that, where is the space really for non-violent forms of protest unless the government is actually forcing you to come out on the streets? Ratnaboli.
See, non-violence protest will always be a threat to the state and to the government, because non-violent demonstration, non-violent protest inherently is about moral superiority, and no government would want to appear as a state which has been inactive, which has been lethargic, which has been totally inert. And when we do a non-violent protest, we are actually proving that the state is totally ineffective and inactive in giving us justice.